Good evening, everybody. This is Fascination Street. I am your co-host, Mika Pearson, and your host, Jimmy Pearson.
Hello there. How are you, everyone?
Tonight, we are going to introduce Jason. He is a good friend of ours, and I'm going to pass you over to Jimmy.
You forgot.
Yeah, I know.
This evening, we've got Jason Goldthorpe from the Unidentified, which is a UFO group in the UK, and they are doing some phenomenal work. Also, Mika forgot to introduce the most important part of the person of the team. Yeah, producer Sarah.
Hi, guys.
And also, over there, Fascination Street Dog, Dougie. Dougie. There he is. Right. So now we're all here.
Lovely.
Yeah. So we're just trying to kind of get everything back together because I mean we've had a month away now almost, and Sarah's had her operation. Everything's going great. We're slightly delayed on getting our podcast out at the moment, but it is definitely coming. So we're hoping to go for a run through early in the week, and then hopefully by Thursday we should have it out and about.
You better watch out.
So, Jason.
Hello.
Let's go straight in. Would you like to tell the good people on Fascination Street who you are and what you do?
I'm Jason. I'm part of the Unidentified. It's a web-based group. We're very active on Twitter. We look at the UFO subject, obviously, and other aspects that convey it. And I'm a bit of an experience. I've seen quite a few UFOs throughout my life, and that's me, really. Yeah.
And the experience thing we'll touch on in just a bit, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's probably important because obviously those that have known me know that we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, you welcomed us into the community when we first got here.
Yeah.
With open arms, and we've kind of gone through like a lot together, a lot of different kind of transitional periods and bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And you've kind of stayed more kind of nuts and bolts side of things, whereas we kind of branched off down the more spiritual side of things to see if we could find an aspect from that point of view, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we look at everything. We look at consciousness at the website, and we just follow a few bits and that, and we're just trying to get to the bottom of it and try and figure it out for ourselves. So it's just we're just trying to get formulated. We're trying to get our place, and it's not been a hard thing to do, really. We've got quite a few followers. There's got quite a few followers on Twitter, so it's all good. We've been here in the places we shouldn't be, and places we should be. So it's been very good. It's been a good ride, and there's a lot more to come yet.
Have you had much pushback on anything that you've done so far? I mean, because like normally they say if you get a bit of pushback from somewhere, you're definitely on the right track.
Yeah, we've had collaboration with a few key people. We've had collaborations with Grant Cameron, a few people from, well, one or two from TTSA. I'll really need to introduce everyone from the website, really, if I bring that in and elaborate on that. So we've got Keith.
I put a link out just before the show to the Unidentified website anyway. So if anyone needs to like have a look up on there, I'd encourage it massively because some of the articles on there are a great note. I mean, Andreas is
he's a
prolific. Was amazing.
Yeah, he's a prolific writer, Adam. Yeah, he's very good. We've got Keith. He's our web developer. He developed the web, and he's our central command, if you want to call him that.
And Keith, I normally call him.
Oh yeah. And we've got Andreas. You know who Andreas is. He's a top writer. He had one of his articles commented on by Luella Zondo 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So somebody's watching somewhere. We've got Sven Kolbo, who's in Germany, in Heidenheim. He's a good writer. He's done a few good articles on there. And we've got Christian, who's in Australia. He's got quite a few followers as well. He's got 2,000 followers on there. And we've got Andreas, who's in Germany, in Heidenheim. He's a good writer. He's done a good few good articles on there. And we've got Christian, who's in He's a good member. We all bring something different to the group, and it works pretty well. So we've all got different ideas what we share and collaborate on, and it's really good. Yeah, really happy with it.
Do you find like, because obviously we touched earlier on the fact that you've had experiences and that. I mean, do you find that your experiences have actually helped to develop your skills of what you do and as you do it personally? I mean, because I mean, I don't know about the rest of the guys if they've had experiences and things like that, but you normally find when you've had that kind of experience yourself, it always kind of helps up the game a little bit more, or you have that other little notch that the others just don't have.
No, I've been into it a long time. I've been reading books, and I've seen quite a few bits and bobs throughout my life, and experienced stuff. So coming together, like how we got in touch, it was on Twitter, and it's just mediating, and you can see who knows a little bit about what, and you all huddle together and share thoughts and stuff. So it was pretty easy game, really, and one of us had an experience in the group as well. That's on the website. It's in one of the stories, but I'll leave that up to the readers for the decipher who it is. And that's it, really. We work quite well. You've got to put your hand out in the field and have a feel about and see the way we want to go about it. We want to talk to people. We want to talk to other researchers who we look at and who we've got ideas of as such. So we're going to follow that route and try and get in touch base with some prolific researchers.
Yeah, I mean, like I was looking down through the site the other day, and I noticed that you'd even done an interview with Erik Stitt as well.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
That was an amazing interview. I mean, obviously, I'm very, very aware of what the whole Paul Bennewitz story. I even have like the special edition Miracle Men DVD.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was listening to Jimmy Church the night that Erik Stitt even phoned in and thought, hello, what's going on? And then to see you guys had actually been in contact with him, had an interview with him and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Well, he's quite visible on Facebook. So if you like, and he's talking to people. So if you pose a question to him, he might answer you, but you've got to keep it. With all these researchers, you can't go out and ask them stupid stuff. You've got to keep it low, and you get a lot better response from them and let them do the talking instead of you going in and asking straight off the edge questions. You can't do that. No. So that's what we done. Then it was visible, so we asked him and we sent him some questions, and he came back with them. Came back with the questions and was really happy with it. One of our best interviews was George Knapp last June, I think it was. He was very interactive, George. Yeah, he's a good person for talk to. He's got a good handle on everything what's going on at the minute. So
he's definitely one that we would love to have on without a doubt. I mean, the things that man knows, the things that man must have seen in all these years. Because the thing is like I've always got the impression from watching it. Because I mean, obviously, I've watched all the Jeremy Corbell films. I've seen other various documentaries with George Knapp as well, and he seems like possibly one of the most approachable people, with like just a real calm air around him. He just
Well, that's just the way you've got to keep it. If you want to approach these people, you've got to keep it calm and to be taken seriously. So that's all we've done in it, and it's come through. We've got results from that.
I mean, we noticed that as well when we were doing sort of like other shows. When we got sort of like some high profile guests on and stuff like that, I mean, just absolutely delightful, really, really lovely people. I mean, just kind of extend to them the kind of respect that you'd expect from someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it works. You can work wonders sometimes. Yeah,
of course. So, would you mind telling us about some of the experiences you've had, Jay?
Yeah, I can tell you a few. I've seen a few UFOs with people when I was younger. In February '91, we was up the Lake District, up England, in the northwest of England. Me and my friends was in a car, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning. and we come round this bend. We was in a little village called Ulverston. And we come round this bend, and up ahead, about 900 yards away, 1,000 yards, there was a red light at the side of the road. And we come around this bend, and we went, whoa, someone's on a bike here, but it's way far up in front of us, way ahead. And we carried on driving towards it. And it's a red light at the side of the road, and we was all joking, saying, bloody hell, who's out on a bicycle at this time of morning? Are they mad? And we're laughing, and we get a bit closer to it, and a bit closer to it, and we realise that it's not a light on a bike, it's just a light at the side of the road. And it's about the size of a Zumba ball. So as we're closing in on it, I got a better vision, better view of what it was. And it was moving up and down a hedgeway, about 10 foot. And as we got closer again, my mates in the back were scared. I've read a book or two by then, but I wasn't going to say that I knew what it was. And as we got closer to it, it stopped. And it started shaking from side to side. And just as we was about 10 yards off it, it rose up and we went underneath it. And we looked back and there was nothing there. And it took us about 3 hours to get home, what should have been an hour drive. So,
wow.
so we might have experienced some missing time there. So it was only an hour and a bit away from home. And it took us a long time to get home. And Ulverston, it's like a national park. There's no street lights. It's just like forest everywhere. And it was dark, so anything could have cut. And we started again, and it took us hours to get home. And it was just a weird thing. I've seen a lot of weird stuff, but I'm not about to tell everything to everybody. For people feel, oh, I don't really believe that, but these things are there. They're out there. They're there, and they're true. Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing we've always said, though, Jay. There's a lot out there that we don't know about, and you can't discredit unless you were there. You can't discredit someone else's testimony because that's their testimony, that's their story, and that's what they saw. That's what happened.
Yeah.
It's because if they think that your experience is false, then what actually happens is normally it's that feeling where you're just like, hang on a second, but I'm not telling a lie. I'm telling the truth because this actually happened.
Yeah.
My friends don't believe I've had a couple of experiences. Hey, I'd just say don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It'll happen to you in time.
Yeah, sure. You've got nothing to lie about. You've got nothing to gain from it. You're just telling the truth, and it's just up to the other people, and their understanding and their knowledge is that it relies on how they take it through what they know and stuff. Yeah,
I mean, it's only sort of like those people that have kind of been in it for the money or for the fame and that in the past in the ufology sort of like community that have made it that way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's typical in England. There's a lot of some good researchers, but they're all selling books, and they haven't really got a lot of time for people. So that's the way it is. I like America. I'd like to go over to America and go through with them. Through the conventions, because they're totally different, aren't they? They're totally different people. Than here, because there's, it's a bit more enclosed over here. I think the UFO.
So I mean, I've never experienced one. Awakening is going to be our first. We did sign up for one is it September? Mm-hmm. Where was that? Huddersfield. I think so. Up in Huddersfield. But
it's sadly, Home Firth Civic Hall. Is it UFO Theatre? Yeah.
Gary Hesseltine.
Yeah, that looks like it'll be a good one. I've spoke to him. I've spoke to him in real life. Yeah.
We can't go because Mika's away on holiday.
Yeah.
Which means we've got all the dogs to look after, and that one my mum and dad are away as well.
Yeah.
So, but we spoke to Gary because we're trying to get Gary on our show as well, because obviously we're very interested in the work that he's done collecting all the police reports.
Yeah, Prufos. Prufos, it was called. Police reporting UFO sightings.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's so bad, Gary. So bad.
He's a bonny personality as well. For talk to him, like he talks about Alan Godfrey, and he says Alan Godfrey, if he's lying, he deserves an Oscar, he says, you know, and it's just funny the spin he puts on it, like, you know, it's not really a spin, but the way he tries to bring it round, that he is telling the truth, and I believe that Alan Godfrey, you know about Alan Godfrey, don't you? The police officer
Well, I
from
got
Yorkshire.
it's really weird because I was in a charity shop a little while ago, and while I was sort of like looking through the DVDs and that, I actually found a 3-pack of Britain's Closest Encounters, and that very story with Gary, and that was all in there. It's got the Welsh Triangle. It's got all sorts in. Honestly, it was like the best bargain for £1 ever.
Well, yeah, it's brilliant. I went to the second-hand shop a couple of weeks ago, and I come home with about 6 books. So, you know, it's really good places for look for books there, and places like that. Good old books. You can come up with some good things. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I've even got, I think I've got the Alien Autopsy documentary as well, with like the footage and everything in as well. I think that cost me about 40 pence.
Bargain.
But I'd sit there and watch it for an hour. You know, it's pricey because I mean, I don't know if you remember, like when like the whole.
Is it Philip Mansell's film? Was it Philip Mansell's film? Was it Philip Mansell?
No, this was the one that you can find on UFO TV. It's the whole documentary.
Right. Okay. Right. I think I know which one it is.
I can't remember. American guy that introduces it. But anyway, if I'll try and find the link for it and send it to you, because
I think I know which one it is. I thought you meant the original one because it was widespread that, and I'm sure people watched it and put it away or give it away. You know,
absolutely.
The alien autopsy, the proper alien autopsy, where they cut that alien open, who's laid down in a tent. You know, remember it was made about 1998, something like that.
This was the one that was I can't remember the guy's name. It was the one they'd done the film on it with Ant and Dec. I can't think of the guy's name.
Ant and Dec from Britain's Got Talent.
Oh yeah.
Who shot? No, was it?
I don't know.
Oh,
but yeah, seriously. I mean, the footage come out. I think it was in the 90s, weren't it? And there was like such a buzz about it, and all of us got to see it on like a really naff like VHS video.
Yeah,
I remember crowding round to like a friend's house one evening. It's like, I've got a copy of it. And we're all sat there, and it's getting to that special time in the early hour of the morning, and we're all sat there like, whoa,
yeah,
it's real. Wow, look, that's got to be, man. That's like, it's not moving.
Oh man,
honestly, I'll explain that to you when you're a little bit older. But yeah, they were special times, and to see stuff like that, I mean, it's great. I mean, I got into a little while ago of watching like all these really old documentaries that you can find on YouTube, and as I say, UFO TV on YouTube, that whole channel there has got some real gold on it.
Yeah,
I mean, like the Alien Highway documentary. I mean, that's as cheesy as anything, but by far still brilliant.
Yeah, the gold. I mean, you've got to watch them shows. Yeah, you've got to watch them. If they've stood the test of time, you know, it's just another thing, isn't it? Compared to now, we're so far ahead. I think so far down the road now. There's a lot more.
Some of the stories are still very, very prevalent. I mean, how can it be like 30 years on? They're still bringing out the Bob Lazar story.
Yeah,
I thought we already watched it.
You watched Bob Lazar and you enjoyed it, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm not like a really big fan of documentaries because, you know, like they go and they only show like a little bit pictures and then just suddenly they go back to talking. But that Bob Lazar one, like I said, there wasn't much pictures, but there was a lot of information to go with it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, oh, and here's this and here's that. It was boom, boom, boom. It wasn't just going like in a really weird
real boring old documentary style.
It was it was like where he had his interviews and then it showed like what the design looked like for one of the UFOs. It was all of that that I was really fascinated about.
You see, and that's it. And now you're kind of getting it the second wave round, whereas like Jay and I, we kind of got like the original brunt of that back in like the late 80s, early 90s. It's now being moved on to like our kids' generation.
It needed to be remade, that story, remakes and whatnot. It was a tremendous story. And when I first heard of it, the magazine, the publication they had it in, I would have heard of that about 93, 94. I only picked up on that about then, but it was still a massive story even back then. I read the story 10 times just looking for bits of information that I might have missed the last time I read it. You know, it was a cracking story. Yeah,
I think we've all read it through interest, and also all tried to read it through debunker as well, haven't we?
Yeah, I believed him. I believe Bob Lazar. Yeah, definitely believe him. Yeah,
genuinely. And what about you? Do you believe Bob Lazar, or do you think his story's all made up?
I do believe it, but then there is some that sound like it's made up.
Yeah.
Like
His is more of a believable story than the rest.
Yeah. What was that one that I was just like, that's not real whatsoever? Which one's that one?
Oh,
the story's 30 years old. It's moving on now. The story, it's 30 years old. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still relevant. It's still got, you know, I think it's a cracking story.
Yeah, and it's another one that stands the test of time. And again, it's always going to be one of those until there's definitive proof. Did it? Didn't it? But
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's more that are sort of like in the Defo club than there isn't.
Yeah. Well,
how he found the UFO information without getting detected. That one I didn't believe, really.
Oh, the movie. It was a movie that we watched, weren't it? And it was done in like a first person, a bit like a Blair Witch where they invade Roswell.
Right, yeah.
Sorry, Area 51. They go in there and it's all kind of done like first person. It was, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It might have even been called Area 51.
Area 51, yeah. I've seen that, yeah. They're driving around in a people carrier at the beginning, aren't they?
That's it,
They're driving around in a people carrier and they stop for camp and they see something, don't they, when they're camping on the night time.
That's right.
Is that the one? And then it goes a bit weird from there. And they can't find their way back, can they? Is that what it is? Is that the film, that one? Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, we've got so many that like we like to watch, and it's quite nice as well because like as the subjects are kind of moving on, Mika's now becoming more involved in watching bits and pieces and taking stuff in, and so that's kind of cool. And so like, you know, talking about experiences again, you know, he's had his experiences nice and young where some people don't.
Yeah.
And some of them ain't nice ones.
Well,
you don't continue, Jason.
Sorry, mate. As long what I'm saying is he recognizing these experiences offhand? Is he recognizing these experiences, or does he talk to you and you tell him that it's something?
Yeah, no. I mean, you recognize what experiences you've had, don't you?
I reckon I know when there is an experience and where is it going to be.
Because you'll come to us and you'll talk to us, won't you?
I
say,
won't just go
happened,
like this.
That's happened.
So what's happening there? Some precognition? Is that working, do you think? Do you think that's at play? Precog?
Precog, right. I'm going to have to try and explain this one now. About knowing if something's about to happen or something like that.
Yes.
You get gut feelings about certain...
Right, okay.
We're not just talking UFO experience or anything like that. We're just talking in general. He's kind of working on the more higher consciousness side of things.
Yeah.
Because I can sense when something's going to happen.
A lot of things you can, can't
you? Yes, I can.
So, but that's
there's a lot of people who can feel that, isn't there? There's a lot of people who sense that precognition.
Again, but it's linking that in. It's like the UFO experience, you know?
Yeah.
You can't discount other people's stuff.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, right, so we've gone through that one. What other ones have you got, Jay? Because I know, didn't you put a couple of videos out on YouTube as well of stuff from your back garden?
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel. It's got about 50 films on there. I've had a couple of experiences early on in my life, and some of them I didn't really understand what was going on, so I passed it off. But anyway, I got to a certain age, and these things was there all the time. I had a lot of sightings during the daytime, and they still continue now. And I just see a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things, maybe through looking. Maybe it is interconnected. We know everything's interconnected. Consciousness, sightings, it's all interconnected. But the amount of stuff that I have seen is there's a lot of stuff what I've seen. Yeah, yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So there's stuff I've seen, like, but sometimes I don't like talking about it because people's reaction and stuff like that. So you have to keep it pretty grounded. But
yeah, of course. I mean, that's why we like being able to have the platform that we've got, so we're able to
yeah,
talk. And like
people can
pretty much
talk. Yeah,
everyone that's here is all of the same mind. I mean, the amount of people in the chat room. I mean, all different experiences and that all between us all. You know, we've got a
yeah,
lot, and that's one thing about the community that we have is the
yeah,
fact a lot of us are bonded by the experiences we've had, or the fact again we socially accept each other because we may not
yeah.
have had the
But
same
this is
experience.
this is our domain. Yeah, I've had a couple of download experiences. Just didn't feel myself. Felt totally out of myself. Felt like a new person. And he had got work as well. I woke up one day and he had got work, and I was having such like an out of body experience, but awake. And he had got work, and that was pretty strange, for to say the least. So it's like he had the answer to everything. Like, but it's like he had an advantage, and I could see society working and all its mechanisms and people going about their life, and it was pretty strange. It was, yeah. And that was after some concentrated sightings in the daytime. That the most sightings I've had have been in the daytime, and I've not just seen them and they've gone. They come back, and then they go and they come back, and I've experienced some reaction, the way I felt about it, and like excitements. I've been excited, and they'll play games and they'll disappear. Like
I think, like for me, when I had like my first experience, I mean, for about 3 days after, I felt really groggy, like I had the major like hangover. I mean, the first day I was back at work, and nothing was as it seemed. I mean, I can relate to like you saying there. I mean, like for me, everywhere I was going, I was noticing patterns of 3 everywhere.
Right.
You know, there'd be like one person sat at 3 different tables, or there'd be 3 people sat at that table, and I'd go and clear that table, and it's like 3 cups on it, and then
yes,
like
somebody's trying to give you a message. There must be a message contained.
And then 3 people sat on the other table, 3 other like crew members, and I was like, saying, right. So I'm on the phone to Sarah, and I'm like, look, man, I think I'm freaking out. Something really, really bad's going on here. I'm like, noticing 3 everywhere. I can't handle it anymore. I don't know what's going on. And then you question your own sanity when this stuff starts happening, don't you? And you can't tell anyone. You're gonna think, they're gonna think that you're like totally off the wall, mate. Like, no.
Yeah, well, I used to be in my back garden filming me, and I was a bit conscientious about the neighbours. The neighbours could see into my back garden.
Yeah,
and I had these Turkish people living next door to me, and they used to see me filming, and I was a bit apprehensive. Anyway, one Saturday I was filming. One Saturday I had my camera out and I was looking about, and kids were in the garden, and they happened to come out, and they said to me, "What are you doing with that camera?" And I was scanning, and as they said it, a big thing came down. Like tablets to do.
Yeah.
And he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Watching that there." And he looked at it and he says, "What is it? What is it?" I don't know what it is. It looks like a UFO or something, doesn't it? He said, "Oh yeah, I've never seen anything like that." Do you know? And it was a good feeling because somebody's actually asked you, and you've gone, watching that up there. What do you think that's? It's a really good feeling. So he works in funny ways.
Yeah.
The whole thing works.
Yeah, I mean, I've always like open and honest. I mean, all the guys at work know that I do a show. They know what my show's about.
Yeah.
And like even like in the staff canteen and that, when we sat there, I mean, it can open up a whole range of like discussions. I mean, one guy that I was chatting with today at work, I mean, we was talking about Eric von Daniken's Chariots of the Gods. I mean, he was unaware of it, but he has a foreign background, and he was sort of like saying about all these different bits and pieces. And I was like, the Baghdad battery. How do you know about the Baghdad battery? I was like, doesn't everyone? Like, no, not everyone does. I was like, okay, mate.
Yeah.
So but it does. It really opens up such a wealth of information. And
that's what we've got to do. We've got to have the conversation. You've got to get people aware to it.
Yeah.
Get their heads around it, because even if it does happen, I think I think so many people won't even recognise disclosure once it happens in whatever form.
Yeah,
it's served him. You know.
Are you under the impression and the feeling like everyone else that we're going through a drip disclosure at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's very much like that. Yeah, I think that's the road we're on. I think it has to be that way. I think it has to be that way. You've got to. There's so many issues. You've got to like protect. You've got to protect people. You've got to protect national security. I suppose that's the way TTSA looking at it. And me and the group we follow them. It's got to be done responsibly. Yeah. So it's got to come out slow, hasn't it? So I think it is a drip.
I was just about to say that one of the experiences, you and Mummy were there, weren't you? Remember with the window?
When we had the window, when we had the show.
Yeah, that was weird because it was with Sandia, and what was happening was we were just talking about the ETs, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then just suddenly we were bang at the window, and it shakes the blinds. And we're just, and I'm just freaking out, just like, what is that?
I think it's lost. So I mean, the window where we're sat, I mean, we're about 15 foot off the ground.
Yeah.
So for something to hit the window and rattle the blinds, that, I mean,
has to be pretty tall.
That was pretty. Yeah, absolutely. On their mate's shoulders.
Yeah. Who's throwing stones? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, back to your early days. So you've gone through, you've had your experiences and other bits and pieces. Obviously, I don't want to touch on that too much because I don't want to keep you too long. UAP info. What was that all about, and where was you going with that one?
UAP info, right? That started back in February last year. And we got a good response with that. We got a good response off Gary Nolan with that. He brought the Ataman findings out. The Ataman for Stephen Greer. Yeah. And there was confirmation bias on it. Stephen Greer didn't believe it. But we reached out to Gary. We was trying to get some information out of him, and he gave us this article on the Ataman, and we had it for 3 weeks. And he said, you can't tell anybody about this, that you've got this, and you can only run it after it's been in the New York Times, because I think the article was going in the New York Times, and we was allowed to run it 1 hour after. But we had that article. We had the article for 3 weeks, and it was a pretty golden moment. Yeah, I suppose it was a test. We could have told people about it. We didn't tell anybody, and we made a lot of leeway. It's like yourself, Jimmy. You know, web-based, Twitter-based. You can make you can make a big impression. And I feel we did that. We made a good impression, and we continue to do that. So we're happy. But with UAP info, we just we had a few disagreements and whatnot. So at home, so we shut it down, and we expanded. Really, just made it better. So, but UAP info, I do miss that name. But Unidentified, it's still gaining momentum now, so we're happy with that, the way it's going.
Absolutely. So, I mean, do you want to talk about the Unidentified now, or do you want to stick to doing it later on?
I can talk about it now. It
segues in quite nicely to where we are. So
yeah. So we change the gears, and we started with Unidentified. We've got a new podcast coming out soon in the next few weeks. We've had indications that people want to come on. Some researchers have said they want to come on, and who knows, we might move on to live shows. So we're gonna give that a whirl, see how it turns out, and see how it goes. Take it from there.
Don't do a web show, trust me. Don't do a web show. It's a lot of hassle.
You'll be coming on. You'll be one of our guests.
And the podcast, don't do podcasts.
We went from podcasts to live on Facebook, then to YouTube.
And now we're going back to doing podcasts and YouTube all in one. So anyway, I know you guys, you're pro TTSA. How did that all originally start about? Because I mean, as you know, I've always been very skeptical myself.
Yeah.
And I've always been waiting for that one defining moment where I can be like, bang on. And obviously, when they first started out, I mean, it was a comedy of errors when they done a few bits and pieces, and that
Yeah.
really kind of turned people like
Yeah, it's like Louis.
away, kind of, and then obviously
Yeah.
the involvement of sort of like alphabet agency members and stuff like that. Other people were very kind of like, hang on a second, something's not quite right here.
Yeah, it wasn't quite right. If well, they didn't do the pictures and that, whatever you want to call it. They didn't put there was markers then for get people to go online and go and look at information themselves and go and look at the limits case, and them pictures was just put there by some probably PR company. So that wasn't there doing that. Anyway, so as they started off, I took to Twitter, and that's how we all met at Unidentified, and I got speaking to yourself by commenting on things, and we we made friends, we followed each other, we liked each other's stuff.
Yeah.
But up until then, there was not really any information. It was very stagnant, wasn't it? The scene was very stagnant up until then. Or you could go and watch Secure Team 10,
Yep.
you know, and that Tyler, you know, you could go and watch his stuff. What's really that's another story, I suppose. But but either way,
you're in a free speech platform here, man.
Yeah,
There's none of
yeah.
that. But
Well, everybody to their own, into the end of the day. But we liked the information, what was coming out. It was a lot of information. They've brought a hell of a lot of information out, TTSA, besides the videos and the dirt reports and everything else what's come out. So it's like you saying to me, like, with people believing you, and you don't like telling people, you've got to give people a chance and let them tell the story and see where they're at. A lot of people are skeptical. A lot of people still are skeptical, but I think they're making a lot of ground now. I think they're about to make a lot of ground and reveal a lot of stuff that hasn't been revealed before by any type of organization. So you're going to have who else is going to give us this information? We need to sit down, listen to it, and give these people a chance. Because if you look at the backgrounds of who they are, you know, they're not just your everyday people. And I know they've been worked behind the scenes and whatnot, but you've got to give people a chance and let them tell the stories and see what can come of it all. You know.
exactly. I mean, because with like everything that's coming out at the moment,
Mm.
you've got like the big kind of push, or the way I see it is there's a big push on the whole remote viewing scene at the moment. And obviously, as you know yourself, you know, the SRI originally started off with like
Help us off and Russell's
exactly,
Targ.
Russell Targ.
Yeah.
So we're now seeing a lot more of Hal Put-Off and the information around him as well. So obviously, I mean, that's going to create more interest into who is this guy? Oh, hang on a second, he's working with these.
Yeah. Myself, I don't think there's
start
enough.
Seeing that around other various members of TTSA.
Yeah, I don't think we'd see enough of Al Put-Off. Very mysterious guy. We don't see enough of him really, and maybe that'll they'll give more information out as they go along of each. You know, they'll just show themselves more to the public, and that's what I'm hoping on them, because Al's very interesting. I think he's one of the most interesting there. Yeah, like Lewis is the front man, but Al's very interesting. Eric Davis, very interesting. Followed all the stuff since it's come out, and it's really thought provoking. Love it.
Yeah, of course. And this, I mean, you know, I do genuinely, because I mean, we all think back to December 17. I mean, those videos that came out.
Yeah.
I mean, we were stood in the queue, weren't we, to go and watch Star Wars?
Which Star Wars was that?
That would have been 2 years ago. That would have been probably The Last Jedi. No, it would have been Force Awakens? No, Last Jedi.
Force Awakens. 2 years ago.
Anywho, we were stood in the queue.
Yeah.
Star Wars. That was Last Jedi, I think. And I remember that coming through on my phone. And we're all stood in this queue, and I'm like, and we're all still like stood around my mobile phone, and we're all kind of watching what's going on. It's like, this was big. This is big.
Yeah,
and
the article was massive. Yeah, it was really good. I was in work.
Absolutely.
He come on telly in work, and I was in transport and turned around and said, "Look at this, watch this." And he was all like, "Oh, you love this, don't you?" So I said, "Yeah, I love it, yeah." And, you know, and it was a big thing. And then I went online, and Grant Cameron's making posts about it and giving his bit, and it was really good.
And again, it was something else. I mean, no matter how you feel about TTSA, what you think about them, they've put the subject back on the table. They've got people talking that people wouldn't normally talk about it, whether or not it's sort of like the New Age community, whether or not it's the nuts and bolts ufology community, or even if it's sort of like the sci-fi community. Because I mean, I've always been a massive fan of Tom DeLonge, full stop. I was also a big fan of the comics as well, the Poet Anderson comics. I mean, we've got those. I mean, Mika actually brought every Angels and Airwaves album out of his own pocket money.
Right. Okay.
You know, we're all very, very, very big fans. So, like, musically, we love Tom DeLonge. So, there's nothing we'd like to see more than him succeed in what he's doing. And, like you say, if we can get this on the table and get everyone from every side around that table and get this conversation going and find some common ground, because it doesn't take much for you to go through YouTube, put in UFO, and all you see is debunk, 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 okay. But there's also bits and pieces there that you can't debunk. I mean, like, you know, say for instance, like, you know, the Utah incident recently.
The Utah video. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether or not they've managed to debunk that one. I mean, I've seen attempts at it, but I haven't seen anyone successfully debunk it yet.
Yeah, I've seen people call it a falcon. Yeah, I've seen. It was another researcher, well-known researcher. I've seen him. He analysed it, and he said it was a falcon. Some guy slowed it right down and zoomed in on it, and it said it was a falcon turning. It swooped down and turned.
Yeah,
you don't know. These videos these days, you get a lot of them on YouTube. Though it's a good media platform, YouTube. But there's a lot of rubbish on there as well, isn't there? So you just have to sift through the bad to the good.
The wheat and the chaff.
Yeah, the wheat and the chaff. Yeah. But
I mean,
get rid of the chaff.
I've had this conversation with so many people, and I'm probably starting to sound like a bit of a broken old record here, but I think, you know, it's going to be sort of like certain platforms and certain shows like this, again, which is going to get people talking. Because, I mean, you can guarantee there'll be big people that I know that, like, from work, again, don't really talk about this type of thing. But again, I guarantee one or two will watch this, and that's it in the canteen next week. It'll be like, oh, that show you did. I saw you talking to that guy. You was talking about this TTSA thing, or you was talking about this. How does that work? And that's exactly how it works. It's like a knock-on effect, right?
Yeah, you got all these people trying to debunk TTSA. A lot of these people who are trying to do that are people who's reached out to him and tried to get on the showboat with him, and then TTSA have got their own plan. You know, they don't need anybody else on board. If you look at who they are, they don't need anybody on board for helping come to a decision. So, and you get a lot of these people like I don't really want to name names, but you know, you see them on Twitter and stuff like that. But they're just not needed. You don't back yourself in a corner and say something, call somebody wrong on something like you might rely on later. You know, so. That's the golden rule, isn't it? It's just stay consistent and stay in the field.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all you've got to do.
Yeah, anyone that watched the Joe Rogan podcast with Tom DeLonge, that was
a bit achy. I think Joe Rogan was a bit jealous of him. I mean, he tried. You can pick holes at anything if you want to, and I think that's what happened there.
He also had that agenda straight away.
Yeah.
That he was just going to stick the boot in from the off and keep sticking it in. And, you know, with regards to Tom DeLonge and stuff like that, I mean, with the people that he was working with, and you can understand why he couldn't say what he wanted to say.
Yeah.
And any fool, I mean, even like the most sort of like skeptical person I know of TTSA, I struggle to find one or two that will think that he was treated fairly on that show, because
it's a bad show.
It was weird how, like, one week, you know, Joe Rogan's all for it. He's all, you know, life out there and this, that, and the other. And then Tom goes on and then he just, like, totally decimates him.
Yeah, I think it's, you could see sarcasm Really, I thought if we could really see he was sarcastic. I think he's jealous, just in general. Really, he was jealous of him. Tom's got a lot of information. Maybe he exaggerates one or two things. I don't know, but he's doing something right. I think. I love TTSA. I mean, I love it.
Yeah,
like I've said before, Jim, we could still be in the same place than we would, like it was 10 years ago. We're just researchers,
of course.
just telling the same old stories. You know, something's been put on the table new, and we can look at it.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
they can have my support.
I think this is probably the biggest thing since the disclosure conference back in 2001, right?
Yeah. Disclosure conference. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That didn't seem to go anywhere. Considering where it was held, you know, it was a good thing. Well, it was great, but
certain part, but I think that had been sabotaged anyway, hadn't it? From the off,
yeah,
they'd already sort of like cut communications and stuff like that. They'd already found blocking devices and other bits and pieces.
Yeah,
so
considering where it was filmed and whatnot, was it Washington press rooms or something like that? Press rooms of Washington,
how could that have not gone any further? How did that not get any other hearings or anything like that? I mean, it was one of the biggest things. It could have been an easy open and shut case.
I loved that when I watched that. Yeah, in 2000, 2000, I thought that was brilliant, mate. Yeah, really did. And then Greer comes about and he wants to, he wants to do private sessions at £2,000 for all, and then that's where I started wailing away from it all, and stuff like that. Merchandising, it goes away from what you're trying to find out, doesn't it? It takes you, it's a bit, takes you.
I looked at some of the DVDs on the Disclosure Project because I'm trying to think was it Unacknowledged we were looking for or something? There was a certain DVD that we were looking for with Stephen Greer in.
Yeah.
We went on and then we managed to find, I think, a UK version of it, but to get it over here and buy it worked out like $50.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa. And then to try and find other stuff, but on like a Region 2 format, couldn't find it, mate. Everything was like Region 1.
Yeah. It was already on YouTube anyway, Jim.
They are now, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on it. Yeah. And I like Steve Bassett as well. Steve Bassett done People's Hearing in 2013, and that was another disclosure, another shot at it. Yeah. But,
so
yeah, go on, mate.
While we're still on TTSA, the Adam Project.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is a lot of meta materials that are already there, a lot that have already been tested? I mean, because again, this was something else that a lot of people were kind of really dragging their heels over. The fact that, well, hang on a second, well, where are they going to get this from? Where are these coming from? And again, it was another thing that everyone was like properly skeptical over. Now, I wasn't, because I know that there's got to be stuff out there. I've looked into, I've been doing a bit of work recently for a friend, and I've been looking into certain like crash sites and possible crash retrieval sites and things like. And when you look at how many there are that have been reported, there is a lot out there.
There seems to be, don't there? Yeah, there seems to be a lot of crash retrievals. Yeah. So if you've got them stories, there's going to be more than that, isn't there? Really, what we don't know about. But with the metamaterials, they've got. I don't know what they've got. We don't know that and where they've come from. We know they've got the Rendlesham fragments. They're supposed to have some fragments from Rendlesham Forest in 1980.
Yeah.
The NSA is supposed to come and took them. They come over to, no, I've never been. No, I've never been. But the NSA was supposed to have took them fragments. They came and took them and went again. What Charles Alt was very dismayed about over it, like, because he got taken. So we know we've got an idea they may have the fragments from Rendlesham. They've got the bismuth piece off Linda Moulton Howe. We know we've got that. I don't want to go too far down the line and until we know what's been presented, and I think we're going to find out soon. So it could come out separately, or it could come out within the documentary series, the 6-parter, what's coming out in the beginning of May. So we just have to wait and see on that.
Watching that, I'm definitely going to be watching it 100% because
of course,
I'm interested, and I think that if they do it right, then it will definitely, without a doubt, boost up the most kind of interest in it. Because as I say, I've always been very skeptical, but I'm kind of at that point now where I'm thinking, if this all goes right, then there could be a lot here for us to be able to talk about, and you know, it could be a very, very big thing. So, yeah, I'm very interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, how it pans out. Yes, they're supposed to have some more footage coming out, and they're all about technology, beam propulsion, beamed energy,
Yeah.
devices and stuff like that. So,
What they saying about blasting satellites up with lasers?
Yeah, with lasers. Yeah,
Mm.
guided lasers, and there's videos on YouTube of that technology. You just need to go and have a look for them. But I think there's a lot for come out in this year. I think it's going to be massive. I think the stuff what they come out with, and it's going to change a lot of minds. Hopefully.
Well, see, you know, I mean, Ryan UFO Jesus. I mean, he's very active on a lot of it, and he's kind of sort of like at the precipice at the moment of calling 2019. But I don't know whether or not it's just sort of like within us ufologists, but every year is going to be the year of disclosure, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? It does go that way quite a bit. Yeah. I don't think we're up to that standard yet. You know, I think people are trying to push TTSA along with their announcement, but you're not going to do that. They're going to do it at a steady pace because they've got goals they want to reach. They just don't want to be into the UFO thing. They want to make technology and stuff like that. But
yeah, but
so
is it so bad that you've got one company doing all of it? Because I mean, I know obviously there were so many people sort of like saying, well, Bigelow has to have this certain amount of interest in it, or he has to be funding bits and pieces of it, and blah blah blah. And you're like, well, not really. I don't think Bigelow is funding any of it, is he? It's all through the guys that donated originally at the start of TTSA.
Yeah, sure. I don't think he's funding any of it whatsoever, but he has put a lot of his own money into ufology research, Bigelow, without a doubt. But TTSA firmly off the note. They're doing it off. Bigelow has a lot of. He's got his finger in this. He knows a lot about the subject. He was, as we know. But I don't think he's putting any of his money into TTSA. I think it's solely crowdfunding and stuff like that. The approach they've taken there. So
he's gone very quiet of late, hasn't he?
Well, Bigelow's he's trying to get his own stuff off the ground into his with his space habitats and that. So he's going to stay in the background. He probably wants anonymity, but he wants to stop out of it. He's got his own stuff to do, hasn't he? And you can't blame him for that, really. No. But I could see a time when he might come into it though, because he must hold some secrets. Must have.
Well, everyone always talks about the materials in the warehouse.
Yeah. Well, we've heard people talk about them and the amount of people he has working at Bigelow Aerospace, putting stuff together. We've heard before in other interviews. So we don't.
Isn't it? Do they? Don't? I mean, you know, this is bigger than we can probably imagine. Yeah. I mean,
it's just what we're seeing. It's like it's sticking out of water. You don't know what's underneath the water, do you? You know, there's a lot more. You can see a little bit. So whatever you can see now is going to be massive. Whatever's. So.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Are you ready to take some questions from the chat room? Because I believe there's been a fair few coming in, Sarah. Yes.
Yeah, I've got a few.
Oh, you've got a few questions.
Got a few.
Right. Do you need to go and get yourself a fresh drink or a nice comfy chair?
Yeah, I'm going to drink, mate. 1 minute.
This is fantastic. Really, really is. Jason, I've waited so long to have him on. As we've said, like right from the start, we've kind of seen each other's platforms grow and everything like that. So to have Jason on, it's great. And hopefully in time, once they get a little bit bigger as well, we'll maybe be able to get like a big open round table with like ourselves, the guys from the Unidentified, and maybe a couple of others. So we can probably sort that out, I imagine, at a later date. So that would be very, very cool.
Yeah.
So, how you doing? You nearly done there, brother?
Yeah, I'm done, brother. Yeah, right.
Right. Okay. Let's spin you round to Sarah before she drops the computer off her lap. There she is. Sarah meet Jason. Jason meet Sarah.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, I told you
Yeah.
you would get a word in edgeways, didn't I?
Yeah.
Doing all right. Okay, Pat has asked, what are your thoughts on the Phoenix Nights?
Phoenix Lights. Very good sighting, Phoenix Lights. I remember it happening. I was into UFOs when the event occurred. I heard about it about a week later. It was a massive sighting, and all that, yeah. But I do believe it was something unidentified. Even though it was played off as flares and whatnot. There was an actor who's landing in Nevada. What was his name now? Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell's in it as well. He's seen the UFOs that night. And I do believe there was. I do believe there was UFOs. And even though it was played down to the public of where it happened, of Arizona, but yeah, I definitely think there was UFOs, and whatever came through there was massive, and it was seen by a lot of people. So yeah, I do believe it was definitely maybe a case of more than one UFO.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's the best confirmation ever, is having such a wide group of people from all walks of life seeing the same thing.
yeah,
And then you've got the government and all the military is trying to debunk it, but that is the best confirmation there is.
I thought it was a massive sighting. I thought disclosure was right round the corner by what happened there, what occurred, and the amount of people that seen it. But it was just played down like everything else had been played down in the past on this subject. And you had that Fife Simonton.
Did he?
No.
You had Fife Simonton who dressed somebody up as an alien and walked him in a news conference press room. And there's no need for that. There was a woman in Arizona who campaigned it, and she lost her job. She lost her job over it, and it's just really a bit sly, really, how it came about and it was played off.
Yeah, totally.
Technical bits.
Oh dear. What types of craft have you seen? And that's from John, one of our moderators.
I've seen all types of craft. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've put myself out there and I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen something once what I thought might have been the secret space program. I've got some night vision binoculars and I set them up one night. And as I was putting the wires together and I looked back at the screen, something zipped across the screen. And I didn't even have time to record it. I followed it. And what I seen was a flattened out triangle. Rectangle. It was a flattened out rectangle, and it had all dim Furby lights around the outer edge of it, and it was really high, and it was booming. It was booming out from where I live. It would have been going over the Irish Sea towards Ireland, and I've never seen anything like that, and I've never seen anything like it again. It was like a flattened out rectangle, and it was face down, and it was about 40,000 feet, and it was never seen anything like it. And I've seen all types of craft. Some of the craft I could tell you about, you won't believe me what I've seen. So I don't really like going into that too much. But I've seen all types. I've seen like little tablets. Well, they're not little. They're eye open. They look like tablets, like little domes, a bit like the Tic Tac. I suppose you could suggest. And I've seen triangles. I've seen all types of stuff. And it's been it's very funny actually. How you come for be there for see these things when they could be there all the time and nobody else is seeing them. Nobody else is recognizing them. It's in all types.
Okay. Pat has asked, what do you think of Gary McKinnon?
Yeah, Gary McKinnon.
Oh, Gary McKinnon, yeah. Yeah. Gary McKinnon, yeah. He hacked everyone's computer into it. He hacked NASA's computer and left daft messages here and there. Didn't say he was a very lucky guy there. I believe him. He had what did he have? Asperger's syndrome or something like that. Yeah, I believe him. and what he was doing at that time with the internet connections. We had a very slow internet connection, and he seemed to get into all these computers, didn't he? He got into NASA and stuff, and he got into somewhere in the Pentagon once. I can't remember now, but he was very lucky he didn't get arrested really and get jail for that. But I reckon he did do it because there was a big campaign for him for keep him here when he was trying to extradite him back to the USA. So yeah, another wonder in the UFO history.
Did you ever watch the interview that you done with Kerry Cassidy?
Who was that? Sorry,
Gary McKinnon. Did you ever watch the interview that you done with Kerry Cassidy on? I think it was Project Camelot.
I've not, Jim. No, I've not seen that. No.
No, that's available on YouTube. That's well worth a watch, mate.
Yeah, I do know who he is and what he done. I do believe him. Like I think he's very lucky that he didn't get a lot of jail for that, or a massive fine, or both. Yeah, it's another intriguing chapter of UFO history, isn't it? What happened? When was it? 2000 was that? When it was 2000, or was it 99 or something like that? Somewhere in that region. No, yeah, it's about 2000, wasn't it? Yeah, but he's very lucky he got away with that.
Okay. Sunshine has asked, do Mika and the guys think UFOs are from outer space or from alternative timelines or both? And then she's put dimensional aircraft or travel crafts.
Do you want to go first, Jay?
Yeah, I think there could be a range of everything. People, I think they're interdimensional myself, and I think some could be space, extraterrestrial or orientated. Jacques Vallée said these UFO sightings are so strange that they can't be solely extraterrestrial. Mm-hmm. The way they orchestrate themselves, and the way they're here in a second and then they're gone again. He said it's like they're definitely interdimensional, and I'd go for that. I think it's a good all-round summary of what they could be. What does Jimmy and Mika think?
Boys?
What? Spin the camera around. So, UFOs, Mika, are they from another planet? Are they from another dimension? What do you think?
I believe they're from another dimension because all the stuff that's technical on them, so like they're not like normal ships as like anything to helicopters, to jets. They're an advanced type of vehicle that are unknown. So that's why they're called unknown flying objects. That also stands for UFO. And that's why they're also called UFOs, because they're unknown flying objects.
There we go.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, very good. What do you think, Jim?
I believe it's a mixture of everything. I believe it's a mixture of ours. I believe it's a mixture of theirs. Part of me still believe, I mean, I genuinely believe there are other planets that are circling us as well. 100%. We are being watched. I mean, I don't know if you saw what I put out yesterday about, the 23 trillion other possibilities that there may be out there. But when you look at it like that, there's got to be more life, and we can't be the most advanced form of. I mean, if we are the most advanced form of life in the universe, then the universe may as well just say goodbye now, because we're not that advanced, are we? I mean, most of us can't even be civil with each other. So what chance have we got?
Yeah.
But yeah, interdimensional. Yes, I do believe to a certain degree as well, because of the Native Americans. I mean, they're very, very big on that. Certain sacred lands, wormholes or portals would appear, sort of like certain cross sections where ley lines would intersect. So there's no reason why it couldn't be as well. So I think it's a very strong possibility. It's all of the above plus ours as well, because it was a fantastic documentary I watched a while ago. It was a lecture of Michael Schratt, and he was going on about the earlier days, the Dorito, and other various no, I'm not offering you Doritos.
Oh,
Should
Yeah.
heat wave anyone? And he was going on about, you know, how like when they were developing like Area 51, no one was allowed to take a bag of Doritos in because of obviously giving away the triangular shape of the craft and things. Seriously,
Where
I
they got the
joke
idea
you
from?
not. Have you seen the documentary?
I've seen a couple of Michael Schratt films, documentaries. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, I like.
Well, I've just recently reached out to him through social media, so
Yeah,
I'm kind of hoping, fingers crossed,
yeah,
we may be able to get hold of the legend himself. But
yeah.
yeah,
I'll be good. That.
ours, theirs, and interdimensional as well,
Yeah, it's a
because
combination. Yeah, it's a
and
combination.
Doritos.
and Doritos,
And Doritos. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And I think that's the best way to look at it. Again, you know, we need to have the talk. We need to find out. Because I don't believe all the physics and that we think we know, we know. I genuinely don't.
yeah.
So you're right.
Yeah,
It seems
sorry.
seems
Obviously,
limited.
asking Mika about like the dimensional of a craft. Mike has actually put on the chat. You know how I would have answered that question at Mika's age. What do you mean by dimensional?
Yeah, super smart kid, sadly.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm going to pass you back, Jay. Cheers, buddy.
Come on, mate.
Yeah. Right. Couple more questions. John has asked, what are some of the places you like to go and see UFOs?
I usually see them from the back garden. I look from the back garden and I try to talk to them, and that's where they appear mostly. Over my house, straight over my head. Sometimes, a lot of the time, they're always at the same distance away. Because I look at everything when I sky watch. I look how the weather's working. I've got endless bits of kit. So, but I usually see stuff at home. So that's mainly the place,
Best
really.
place to be, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is, yeah. So if
Right
you
next to
know,
the kitchen.
yeah, that's it. Why travel when you can have it at home? Yeah. So
What do you have in your kit, Jason?
what's that,
Because
mate?
what do you have in your kit? Because you've done field investigation work as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's all my own investigation work what I've done, and I've learnt myself. I'm not a photographer or anything like that. I've just the stuff that I've seen is it's there, and other people see it with me. So I've picked it up myself, and I just look at things and I just don't go, oh, that's a flying saucer, or that's one there.
Yeah.
I do look at it proper, and I know when it's something different, when it's and my partner's seen stuff with me,
Yeah.
if you've got plenty of free will, and you're open to seeing this and being part of it,
Yeah.
you've got more chance of seeing something.
Your kit? For
I've
someone
got
that's starting up that would like to kind of do like a little bit more sky watching and other bits and pieces, what bits of kit do you have in yours that you would highly recommend to others?
I've just got a camcorder. I've got a good camcorder. I've got some nice binoculars, the big binoculars they are, the stargazing ones. They're really powerful. So everything I look at, I'll look through the binoculars first. If I see some, I'll look through the binoculars. So I don't waste any time there thinking it might be something else, like where it could be a balloon. But the way these things move, they're not balloons, But I've got some night vision binoculars as well, but they're getting on now. I've had them about 10 years. But yeah, it's just camcorders and binoculars and a good eye. That's it, really. I'll just train myself how to see these things, how to look out for them, and you know what you're looking at.
Do you use any apps on your phone or anything to sort of like track satellites to make sure that obviously it's not those or anything like that?
Yeah, I've not got any apps on satellites, but you can see them now. You can see satellites going over. They reflect. They stay in the sun, don't they? In the sun, just out of the Earth's shadow. So yeah, I know what they are, and so I don't really need anything
Change
for them.
course, it's definitely not a satellite.
But that's it. Yeah, if it change, yeah. So just usual stuff: a camcorder, some good binoculars, and a good eye. Yeah, and a bit of common sense.
Okay. John has asked, any thoughts on underwater USOs?
Yeah, there's got to be underwater bases. We know nothing about our seas. We know hardly anything. We know quite as much about the moon than we do our oceans.
Yeah.
So it's common sense that there could be something under the take the Nimitz encounter. That TTSA was its fault that it was trying to dock with something under the water, because Dave Fravor, the pilot, it's in a structure as big as a 747 under the sea. So it comes just yeah, it makes every sense that there's underwater bases. Yeah, I believe there is.
Yeah, absolutely. Tinette has asked, have you ever seen a craft that looks like a plasma ball?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've seen a few of them on a night time. Yeah, I've seen a green one. I've seen this green one. It come low down over my house last June. It was on my birthday actually, and it come down over my house and went past my house. So I went down the side of my house to watch it on the front, and when I got there, it was gone. So these plasmas and stuff like that, I think they're about as well. Yeah, I do believe that there's plasma in the atmosphere as well. But I've seen some pretty good structured craft as well.
Some
So,
weird and wonderful then.
yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, that's all the questions I've got at the moment. Let's hope that we get some more coming through.
Yeah, cool. Right, let's spin
Back
it
to the boys.
Right, okay. Right, where we at? There we
Hi,
are.
if you forgot our names, I'm Mika and this is Jimmy.
Hello there.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Hello.
See, I told you we'd be nice and gentle, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's not that bad at all. I mean,
No.
especially for your first interview as well. Well, say interview chat. We don't use interview. That's just such a cold word. It really is.
Yeah.
So
I've seen your chats before, Jim, and I knew what to expect.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right. So disclosure. Where are we going with disclosure right now? Because I mean, obviously we've touched on the whole TTSA thing, and you know what we're all kind of doing. We're all playing our own little part in it. I mean, who would you say at the moment would really kind of the people to watch? I mean, obviously TTSA, but who else out there is really kind of batting it? Because didn't Grant Cameron make some kind of some kind of comment or something a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, he said he's got some. Grant Cameron said he's got some news. What's going to upset the community? I think it could be regarding MJ12. Some information he's got down the line there, but how true it is, it's just speculation at the minute. I like Grant Cameron. He's a good talker. You know, I love getting him on an interview. You can just ask him a question and he'll go and he'll talk forever. But yeah, he said he had some information that he's about to drop. I think he's trying to dribble bits out here and there. But you just have to persevere with it the way it's going. So yeah,
I mean, he's someone that I've always looked up to for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's about MJ12. I mean, I wonder where we're going to go with that.
Yeah, well, I did have a talk with him a bit ago, and he did say he's got some information, and it's going to upset people in the community, in the UFO community, that it's going to drop. So how true it is, how real it is, I don't know. It's anyone's guess. You just have to wait to see if he comes up with anything. So that's that.
So I mean, even like I noticed that Steve Bassett's not quite as high profile as it used to be. I mean, like with the tweets and bits and pieces as well. I mean, he's kind of not as prolific as he was.
Yeah, I like Steve Bassett. I think he's staying in there. He's very diplomatic. There's a narrative being set now by who, so we just have to watch that and see what comes of it. You can't dismiss it. You can't do that. So we're just gonna have to watch the narrative, see what happens, what's going on.
And Space Force, how do you feel about the Space Force?
Space Force.
Do you think do you think Britain will follow up with it as well, or do you think it's just sort of like a strictly kind of American kind of dominant program?
It's probably an American dominant program, isn't it? England will back them up either way, whatever direction it goes in. So, but it's just waiting for England for announce anything, because they're not good at announcing much, are they? So, you're
not going to mention the B word. Don't mention the B word.
No. They can't even decide on that, can they? So,
no,
on Brexit. So, but other than that, it's going to be a big war. It's a bigger advantage point, isn't it? Having something in space, weaponizing space, and maybe we shouldn't do it really. Maybe it can antagonize somebody else. Who knows? But isn't it already in place? Really, I think it's probably already in place. Maybe it's a doorway to lead to another explanation of other stuff. We've got to see what it is.
I was about to say, then that's kind of segues into the SSP situation, doesn't
it? Yeah. So it could go anywhere. So
What's your thoughts on the SSP, Jay?
What, secret space program?
Yeah.
I think it's there. Yeah, they do. Like Michael Schratt says, he goes on about the secret space program. He says the money that they've wasted and stuff like that. He said they've made the breakthroughs, and I think they've made the breakthroughs. They must have some type of technology for carry this endeavor out. If that's what they're heading to, they must have something in the back room.
I mean, there was a plan like in the 1950s, Project Horizon, and that was of a small sort of like garrison actually colonizing the moon.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, would that have been possible? Has that happened? I mean, so you got so many different bits and pieces. I mean, like John Callahan said about, the amount of things that are coming in and out the atmosphere every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can pretty much discount, all right, certain pieces of space junk, space debris coming in, burning up this, that, and the other, but not many things really turn around and leave.
Yeah. So they're sucked in by the atmosphere, aren't they? Well, when NASA set out in the 60s, they said they wanted moon bases and stuff like that, which with was it Germany? Yeah, it was in the race for them. So they said they wanted moon bases, but we ended up with the space station. So that makes you wonder why they didn't get the bases online, and they ended up with the space station.
Yeah, but the bases be there really already? Did they carry on with Project Horizon?
Well, that's it. Well, that's what they said they wanted to do, wasn't it? So there's so many question marks.
Files on it somewhere. Project Horizon.
Yeah.
I'm thinking now. But yeah, I mean,
and it ties in with Gary McKinnon's stuff, doesn't it, as well? What he said he found with these non-terrestrial officers and stuff like that. These little bits of breadcrumbs here and there, what you can piece together, but you don't really know. You've got to sift the good from the bad.
That's it. I mean, I think one of the best ones that I heard was that someone actually said that the files that he found was a role play game. It wasn't actually. That was one of the best excuses I heard for that.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know what you'd read into that, but
it's a funny one. Yeah, it could mean a few things. I've not heard that one myself, to tell you the truth.
Have you not?
No, I've not heard that one.
I hear it. I'm not sure if it might have been on Nexus feed or so. I'll have a look through and see if I can find the article for you. But
yeah.
That was one of the things that I heard, that someone said that he'd found a file which contained like a game.
Game.
Yeah.
That is deadly.
I know, because obviously you're going to have a list of sort of like off-world officers, and
I know what you could have. Monopoly.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
there is your file, and then you've got one page how to play the game. Then you've got another page how to cheat the game.
Yeah.
Then the third one is how to break the game.
That's it. And then while he was going through the files, he found that there was a Professor Plum on there in the library with a lead pipe on one of the spaceships. Have you ever heard anything that ridiculous before?
I've not. That's probably been put together by the people who's put the article out there, hasn't it? These people add stuff and filling gaps, don't they?
You'd expect to find something like that on the Onion.
Yeah. Peeling the onion. Yeah.
Files, and then it's just for a game. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a funny one.
Okay, one more question, Jay. Firing you over.
Mate. Right, go on, mate.
Right. Mike has asked, have you ever visited a place like Skinwalker Ranch and/or thoughts of it?
I've not been to Skinwalker Ranch, no, but I've looked at it. It's a funny place, isn't it? If anybody's read about it, you know it's a strange place. It's where it's situated in Utah. I think there might be some type of gateways there, some portals, and I think I think there's definitely something there. I've read the book, Up for the Skinwalker. I believe there's portals, but I think they had trouble getting it on film. I think, or we've not seen it. They said they had trouble filming the phenomena and capturing it. But yeah, I think there's something there. There's got to be something there. It's sacred land as well, isn't it? Native Americans live there. I do think it's pretty sacred. Yeah, I do believe in it. Yeah, but I've never been there. I'd like to go there.
Absolutely.
I'll go there at drop of an hat if you had someone go with. But yeah, it definitely something there. There's the reports and that. Yeah, Bigfoot, dogs. Yeah, have you read the book yourselves? Any of you? Have you read it, Jimmy? The book?
No, I do have it. It's in the collection.
Yeah,
I've got about 1,001 different books to get through at the moment, mate.
Yeah. I'm saying myself.
Adding to them and not getting round to them.
Yeah, it's a well written book. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I need to read it again actually. But what they experienced out there, they experienced big wolves and stuff like that. Was really humongous in size and portals. They had all type of equipment. But Neds who went on there thought, look at it and trying to evaluate it. It was said they was heavy-handed, and the phenomena sensed that it was there, so it played a lot of hide and seek with them. Nice see me now you don't. So from what I can ascertain from it all, it was really hard for get on camera, but I do believe it's there, unless they got it on camera and it's never been shown to the public.
Okay, Mike has actually said you get us access, and he's totally on board.
Right, good, nice one.
Anyone out in the chat room able to put Jay up for a couple of weeks in America?
Yeah.
Keith has said Keith Mayo.
Never heard of him. That's handsome Keith. Yeah, handsome Keith.
Yeah, he said that you've been to Cannock Chase in your lorry.
Yep, Cannock Chase. Yep, that's another haunted place. Yeah, it's northeast of Leeds. Northeast of Birmingham. Sorry, it's northeast of Birmingham. It's experienced a lot of. It's a bit like Skinwalker Ranch. It's experienced alien abduction, big wolves. It's like another place. It's like another scene, just like Skinwalker Ranch, and it's got tons of history with it. People seen UFOs at the side of the road. Yeah, it's another place just like it. Yeah, it's right. That's right. Assumption.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Keith. I said that. Mike says thanks that he's for his question, and got someone else. Andreas Freeman.
Andreas.
Yep. Andreas. Did I say the wrong word? They put Cannock Chase again.
Yeah, Cannock Chase. Yeah, it's very similar to Skinwalker Ranch. The phenomena what's been seen there, and that's in England. It's like it's a big woods. It's like a national park, and it's in the centre, the north of of England, and it has experienced a lot of stuff, a lot of weird stuff going on there. Like I said, there's been alien abductions reported. You can go and research it. If you put Cannock Chase in the internet. There's been a few books written on it as well by various people. Yeah, it's another. I think these places like Cannock Chase and Skinwalker Ranch, I think they could be dotted around the planet. I think there could be one in on every continent, one or two. You know,
Like
it could be, it could be all interconnected. You know, it's speculation, but I think that's the way it's looking with Skinwalker Ranch and the activity.
Have you looked compared to the locations of them to the locations of ley lines, Jay?
I've not, mate. No. But that could, yeah, it's another thing for look at. That another avenue for go down for look at, yeah, to evaluate. Awesome. Yeah, it could play a part. Magnetic fields. Yeah. There's a lot of theories out there. There's about magnetic fields and the collapse of magnetic fields. There could be a collapse in a magnetic field that enables these things to come through into our reality. I've heard researchers say before. Yeah. It's speculation, but magnetic fields definitely play a big part in all of this, I think.
Magnetic field, bases.
Yeah.
Energy vortexes, crossroads,
lines. Yeah. All definitely. Definitely plays a big part in it, I think. Yeah, into the next dimension. Yep.
And we've just had UFO Chronicles come in.
Oh, Nikki. Cool. Okay. Right, is that it for
the
time
being? That's all the questions.
Do you want to put one last thing out before we wrap and see if anyone else has got anything else, and that's it. Right, so obviously you've read quite a lot. Hang on, before it falls off the table. Okay, so you've read quite a lot. So what would you recommend as sort of like one of the best books for anyone that's kind of relatively new to the field?
I'll go for Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker Ranch, The Hunt for the Skinwalker. That's an excellent book, that. I started off with encyclopedias. If you're new to the field and you want to know about it, about the subject, you can start with encyclopedias, and you're going to pick good authors. Jacques Vallée, they're all in there. I've got plenty of books, but I think man, hardcore reading. I've got books on ESP and all types of stuff. So
I've seen some of the books that you've read. I've seen some of the pictures and that you've put out there, and it's quite an extensive reading collection that you have.
Yeah. More than I can remember rightly, but yeah, consciousness and stuff. So,
favorite ufologist.
Oh, it's got to be Jacques Vallée with his theories. He's mainstream, and he's well, not mainstream, but he was a pioneer in his field, and he's still going now. I don't think he's going at an accelerated rate. He's still got his finger in there making. Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet because I'm going to binge watch it. But what was your thoughts on Blue Book?
Blue Book, I like Blue Book. It's nice, yeah. It was well made. I liked it for what it is because it's going to bring awareness out and people are going to watch it. And you know, it's got to stay at a level where people want to watch it. You don't go down the rabbit hole too much. But they're all cases of what's gone before. So I like Blue Book. Yeah, good. Cool. Yeah.
Right. Favorite incident.
Favorite incident. It's got to be Rendlesham or Colores Island in Brazil, 1977.
What was that one? Talk me through that one, Jay.
Colores Island. Colores Island was a big. The people of Colores Island was invaded for over 3 months by UFOs coming in and firing beams at them, and possibly extracting blood. It went on for a few months. The Brazilian Air Force investigated it. The locals seen the Air Force hiding in bushes, filming and taking pictures. Robert Bigelow supposed to have all the files.
Oh, that's interesting.
15 hours of motion film, 500 photographs, and it's a very deep case. I'd love to know about that. I'd love to know more. Have a look at it, Colores Island.
Yeah. If you're able to find anything, can you link it through to us?
I will indeed, yeah.
Because I'd be interested in reading up on that one.
Yeah, 1978, that.
Year I was born. Good year that was, but not for the rest of the world.
I was a couple of years earlier.
I'll explain it to you when you're older, darling. It meant that like it was a good year for me being born, but it was a bad year for the rest of the world. Me being born.
It's joking.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You throw me off my game now. What do you think Bigelow meant by they're under our nose, right under our nose?
There already is the way society is, isn't it? The way the old subject is in society. It's already here. We can't find them because they're already here.
Yeah,
That's what he's trying to say. They're already like they're already built into society. Everything they've been here. They've been here for I don't know how long. They've been here for hundreds of years. But it's here and it's hidden that well. It's like it's a subject that works against itself. So they're already here. That's what he was trying to say. They're right under our nose. It's built in. It's built into religion. Everything. If you look at religion, all the gods came skyward. They come from the skies.
yeah.
The cave paintings all around. The cave paintings, cave drawings all around the world by the different religions.
Yeah.
All show relatively the same stuff. And for the time that it was made, and it was drawn in them caves, no other continents had any communication with the next continent. So how were they all portraying the same type of sky gods and stuff like and so on? Yeah.
I mean, when you watch like, I mean, I don't know if you ever seen Mystery of the Gods. I think it was made in about 77, and it was along the lines of obviously Chariots of the Gods, but it was hosted by William Shatner.
I think you have, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it, yeah.
When you look at sort of like all these sort of like old indigenous tribes and things like that, all having sort of like all these artifacts, etc., depicting what we would call a classic Zeta. I mean, how these people have never had sort of like any real kind of contact with the outside. I mean, how can that be brought in? I don't.
Yeah, how can it be portrayed in each religion, in each tribe, and like the Aborigines was painted the same things as the Native Indians of America and stuff. It just shows it's too much. There's too much smoke without fire, isn't there? So,
yeah,
that's why I believe it. Yeah.
Right. Favorite movie, sci-fi. Favorite ufology or sci-fi movie.
Favorite one.
I know there's a lot out there, right? I
yeah.
Stitched you up on one.
Yeah, you haven't, yeah, because I like them all. I don't know. I've seen the Knowing. Knowing's good. Knowing's one for them.
Yeah, seen the Knowing.
Yeah, Knowing's good. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, I've watched them all. Yeah, Fire in the Sky was good. I watched Fire in the Sky when it came out in '92. Watched Fire in the Sky when it came out then. Yeah, I was well up by then. So yeah, Fire in the Sky. El Travis.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I believe that guy's story. I really, really do.
Yeah, I've met him. I've met Travis one.
Ooh, have you?
Yeah. In Leeds in 2006, I think it was, something like that. And I've met Jesse Marcel Jr.
Really?
Yes, met him, yeah.
Interesting.
Don Schmidt.
Any advance on getting your tickets for Awakening this year? Because I've seen that they've put David Adair on the list now.
Right, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. You're going to be able to get tickets right up to the event, aren't you? So I am going to go. I'm going to go.
We went for the VIP tickets.
Right, okay.
So that's kind of all in. But Mika is actually working for Awakening this year.
All right, okay. What's he doing?
Interviewing.
Oh, wow. Very good. That'll be interesting.
Over 16s.
Yeah, it's the only way, because he wouldn't have been able to get a ticket at all because he's under 16 and there's no under 16s at all. But they've offered him a job working for them.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah, it's very good.
Absolutely, and luckily enough, one of the guys there knew our show, so he knows what we do and who we are and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. Really, really good with that.
You won't think they put an age on it, would you? Really, for going in a place like that, like 16 and whatnot? It's pretty strange, because I've heard you mention it before about his age, but you've got round that in grand style.
He certainly looks older.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at some of the conferences over in the US and that, I mean, you've got people walking around with their like small baby kids and stuff like that, and you're like, how does that work?
Yeah, and they're all dressed up and whatnot. Yeah, and
you can go to like one in the US, and but by the by, I mean, the boy's going to be there, and he's got sort of like an open an access all areas ticket to be able to go and meet like everyone there. So
Yeah, I think I will make a point to go in. I was going to go last year, but I think I'll definitely go this year now. Yeah, I think I'll definitely go.
So if we hear of any
there.
If we hear of any VIP tickets that are going anywhere, we'll give you a shout.
Yeah, give us a shout. Yeah, yep, definitely. Yeah. Well, have they already gone now? Have they? Have the VIP tickets gone?
I know they put out something a little while ago that they were running very, very low. There weren't that many left at all with the VIP ones.
It's gonna grow every year, isn't it? People talk about it. It's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger, isn't it? So
well, that's it. I mean, the thing is like with you this week, I've got Dave Partridge next week.
Yeah.
I mean, most of our shows so far have been with our American brothers and sisters, so we've only kind of had that like perspective as well. And to kind of get a UK perspective, with regards to kind of like Awakening and that, I mean, it's not going to be anywhere near as big as one of the American ones. But again, you know, they do that so well over there, whether it be a Comic-Con, whether it be a UFO convention or anything like that. And we just don't.
I'll go.
I don't know why we just don't do it here.
Yeah, I know. It's just not down the road enough, is it? I'd love to go Alien Con or Contact in the Desert, you know. Well, if you look at, you've got Linda Moulton now over here in Dolan, so that's going to be pretty good. That see Richard Dolan speaking from here, because he's an excellent researcher, historian. He's brilliant.
I mean, his knowledge as well is just it's phenomenal, and you know, and we're really looking forward to meeting him, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
really are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mika can interview him, yeah.
Yeah. And Mika's got
with the mic there.
Interview any of them. Yep. Well, that's what he's got to do for Awakening. He has to go and interview Linda Moulton Howe, Richard Dolan, Mike Barra, David Childress, and everyone that's there. Mika's got to go and meet and interview.
Damn, that's a really good. That. Yeah, I look forward to that.
What a real horrible job to have, right?
Shocking.
Yeah, right. You want to try that? Right. Anything else have we got for Jay?
Yeah, I've got a couple more questions.
A couple more, Jay. Spin you around, and then we'll wrap it up, brother.
All right, mate.
Okay. John has asked, any thoughts of Zachary Stitching?
Zachariah Sitchin.
Zachariah Sitchin. What? Zachariah Stitchin. Is he a philosopher? I've heard of him. I can't really.
Author.
Is he an author? Is he?
Yes,
yeah,
mate.
I've heard of him. Yeah, I've heard of him, but I've not really read anything on him. No, I've not really read anything on Zachary Sitchin. What does he cover? Does he cover consciousness or?
Not sure.
Or sightings?
It's the ufology side.
It's the what? Sorry.
It's more of the ufology side, Jay.
Yeah, I've not really followed it much on. I don't really know anything about him.
Anunnaki.
The Anunnaki? No, I don't really follow it. I don't follow the Anunnaki, I'm afraid. I just try and keep it straight and keep it free.
Nuts and bolts.
Yeah, I'm a nuts and bolts guy. I'm more of a case files guy, me. I always have been. I don't really follow Anunnaki.
Okay.
I'm afraid. I'm sorry about
that. No problem. There's questions you're going to be able to answer, and there's questions you're not.
Yeah, I don't follow the Anunnaki. I don't really understand it. What are they?
They were gods that came to Earth to mine for gold for planet Nibiru, and it was believed that we are all from them. We were created as sort of like drone workers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know the story. Yeah, I know the story vaguely. Yeah, but it's not something I followed. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
No problem. Tanette has asked, favourite fictional UFO movie?
It's got to be Close Encounters, isn't it?
What else?
Yeah, it's got to be Close Encounters.
2001.
Really?
No, like made that up.
Totally. I know you did.
Yeah.
Tell me that. Okay, that's all the questions from the chat room. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to pass you back to the boys to we're going to wrap up and
there he is.
Oh,
hello, mate.
All right, mate. Yeah.
I know you do get dizzy, don't you?
Yeah, right. Spin me right round. Right. Okay. So, Jay, any shout outs you want to give to anyone?
Not really. I just want to give a shout out to the Unidentified. A couple of people off Twitter who know me. Chris Walford. Chris Walford's a good. You know Chris Walford. Chris Walford's a good researcher. I like Chris. That's it, really. Just people who know me on Twitter. That's a big eye. Yep. All right, Jim. Thanks for having me, mate. I've really enjoyed it.
Do you want to plug the site and the podcast before you go?
Yeah. So we're doing a podcast in a few weeks. Keep your eye out for that from the Unidentified. And we've got some more interviews coming up with some more top researchers and TV personalities. So keep your eye on it.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Coming very soon. All right, man.
Excellent. No worries. Jay, thank you so much for giving up your time on a Saturday evening for us. And I hope it hasn't cut into your family time too much.
Yeah, it's all right, mate. Sound good. Glad to be here. I want to come on again, do a part 2. Yeah.
You can always come and let us know when you're free, and we can always work on something. If you can't get hold of us, then obviously speak to Sarah and we'll get something sorted out. All right, Jay?
Yeah, I might tell you about them strange UFO encounters I've had.
Anytime.
All right, mate. All right, thanks a lot for that.
Easy. Thank you so much, buddy.
Bye, mate.
See you later. You can say bye.
Bye.
See you, Mika. See you, Sarah. Thank you.
Right. Okay. You need to turn off your end, Jay. There he goes. Brilliant. What can we say about that? That was fantastic.
That's fan-dabby-dabby-dabby-dozy.
Fan-dabby-dabby-dabby-dozy.
Fan-dabby-dabby-dabby-dabby-dozy.
So how did you feel that went?
I felt that went really good, and I really think that Jason's a really nice guy to really interview. I'm not saying that everyone that we've interviewed is awful. Every single one of you are brilliant. But I could just feel that was a good one.
There was a lot of energy, good energy going through there, and I really, really enjoyed that as well. And as I say, Jason is someone that's been with us and supported us from day one in the community. When we first got on Twitter and everything, he invited us over, conversations galore. And
so basically what he did was, for example, you imagining a party and he invited us to it.
Yeah, come over, join our party, let's talk. And then we kind of stood over by the quiche having, I don't know, a lemonade and eating quiche and chatting at the party.
Well, I have no words.
But yeah, obviously, I mean, talking with Jay and that, I mean, I was always a TTSA skeptical. Always. Did I mention always? Did I mention always? Did I? And him and his boys have been absolutely pro the whole way through, and yeah, I can understand why. I mean, they're a diamond set of guys, and we genuinely love them so much, and yeah, we'd love to have them on. And as I say, if any other guys from the Unidentified want to come on, we'll have you on quite happily. If you want to do a round table where we can get a few of you together, a couple of us, maybe one or two of our chat room as well, and we could have like one big hangout, something like that. Would you reckon? That'd be cool.
We did there hang out, and this app's called Hangout.
Yeah, you like that. Right, and in the next segment of our show, we want to give a few shout outs to people, don't we? Mika, anyone you want to give shout outs to?
No.
Shall I give you a clue? John Ledford.
Oh, come on!
John Ledford. Look good. Rep it. John Ledford, thank you so much for our shirts from Seattle. And I did notice that there was a little bit of about us wearing Hawk stuff from Mike. Is it Mike?
Yeah. Okay, Mike.
Were you dissing the Hawks? Well, sorry, but we do have family and friends that are Hawks fans. So theoretically, that does make us Hawk fans. No, it actually makes us Hawk fans, and we're proud of it, right? Fist bump, go Hawks. Right, okay. Also, we'd like to give a big shout out to Natasha, Mysterious Forces Live. We'd like to give a shout out to Erik Stitt for always being there, doing all our artwork for us. Dave Partridge, Shadows of Your Mind magazine. Brett Larson, Inquire Within. Ray and Dennis at Sixth Sense Media. All of our new viewers. And the biggest and most special shout out is to all of you that stayed with us all evening, watched and enjoyed the show, and hopefully we'll be back for our next show next week, which promises to be another good one because we've got Dave Partridge from Shadows of Your Mind magazine. Very, very seldomly seen guy, unless you're on Twitter and you'll see him about. But apart from that, he doesn't normally do interviews. So to have him on is a bit of a privilege. So from all of us here, from producer Sarah.
And it's goodbye from me.
From Fascination Street Dog.
Woof, 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 woof.
He's already fast asleep. From Mika.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
And from me, it's not goodbye. It's just so long. See ya.